Good morning, everyone. Welcome to my channel. Thank you for watching this video. Okay, previously I was doing the health talks up until episode 14, and why did I suddenly start introducing this new Infinite Lifetime Sutra is because I met my Tibetan master yesterday, and his words he was actually just asking me because we have not met for more than 10 years, but he said, "Oh, you didn't change a bit. You still look the same. You still sound the same." And he's asking how old I am. I said, like 48 this year. Say, "Oh, what are you doing now?" He's concerned about my career. So I told him that about what I'm doing, about my next month I'm going to a new company and stuff like this. And then he said, you better think about something because once you one blink of an eye you're going to be like in your 50s. So it does give me an something like a like bulb moment, because I've always been thinking, what am I going to do when I reach retirement age? Although retirement age is now increased from 55 to 60, so what is beyond that? you know so he is concerned about my career, and then it just dawned to me, I'm a bit less concerned about my career. I'm more concerned about do the time that I still have left on this place, on earth itself. Well, I was making the Helsing's talk. I've explained the 10 wholesome ways. Exactly, the past few episodes they were about the 10 wholesome ways, and I have also shared about it in depth. So other than the 10 wholesome ways, then I was actually thinking of, after doing the health talks, I'll go into Diamond Sutra first before I come to the Infinite Lifetime Sutra. But because of this thinking about the time, how much time that I still have over here, right? I decided that I will start the Infinite Lifetime Sutra right now before it's too late. Now, because my dad passed away when he was 51, very young, he had a heart attack, something that we did not expect. Right? We know that he's diabetic. He was diabetic. He was also having some high BP situation, but we didn't expect him to die that day in the office with a heart attack. So I have always thought about the word death, right? In fact, you see, Master Ching Kong had also spoken about the word death. In fact, he said we must be reminded about death all the time. Once you remember, if for example you keep thinking that today may be the last day I have in this world, have I done what I'm supposed to be doing? Have I done enough so that I do not fall into the lower realms of existence? What have I done to contribute back to the people? What is the value of my life? What was my legacy to the world? So that's why I just thought, I'll just have to start with the Infinite Lifetime Sutra. So simultaneously, when I have time, I'll continue with the healthy talks, and then I will have more dedication to the Infinite Lifetime Sutra, because this sutra benefited me, and it had benefited a lot of other people who uh, have elevated themselves. They lead really peaceful life. They lead a very calm, serene life, that a lot of people may think that, oh, what is the point of living such a peaceful life? There's no up, there's no down, and then that's it. And I can tell you, all these that are without the ups and without the downs, they are very peaceful, and they have lived. They are able to find the essence of life itself. They are able to find the purpose of life itself. When you're filled with activities, your mind is not calm. When your mind is not calm, you will not be able to see objectively. You will not be able to see through what is going on around you. You will always be part of the party. You'll always be part of the chaos. But if the moment you step out from the chaos, you will realize, oh, this is it. You know, you get light bulb moments, just like how I did. Okay, so we're going to start with the Infinite Lifetime Sutra, and this today's episode and the next episode will probably be just dedicating to the title of this sutra, of these teachings. Okay, because even the title itself, this Infinite Lifetime Sutra, in English you can just say that it's just Infinite Lifetime Sutra, but if you look at the Chinese title itself, 佛说大乘无量寿庄严清净平等正觉经，平等觉境. Okay, so if you were to look at the title itself, just now I have read to you the literal translation. The Buddha says the Mahayana infinite lifespan, splendid, peaceful, equal enlightenment sutra. You know that this sutra itself, this teaching itself, is going to be something that leads you to that enlightenment, the ultimate, the infinite. All right, because Buddhists do not just become a Buddhist for the sake of becoming a Buddhist. There is always an end goal, and for a lot of us, some people, their end goal is like, oh, I just want to lead a peaceful life. I follow the teachings of the Buddha. I want to lead a peaceful life. I want to be happy. I want to, oh, please, please, Buddha, please, protect me from all harm. Okay, let me lead it peacefully. Let me be without any dangerous situation or any troubles that I couldn't overcome that overwhelms me. Please, just give me a peaceful life. Okay, that's all they can think of. Even when they pray, they may say things like, be safe, be peaceful, be happy. That's it. But very few people will think that, oh, I want to learn Buddhism to become the Buddha. Because a lot of people, right? A lot of people always think of Buddha in a wrong context. They think of Buddha similar to God. If you do not understand Buddhism, you will think that it is a religion. But Buddhism is actually a teaching. The Buddha taught the way of life. The Buddha taught the way of thoughts. The Buddha taught us how to lead ourselves to the next level, because all of us are Buddha within. All of us are capable of becoming a Buddha, and every single story that we have known about our Gautama Buddha, our Lord Gautama Buddha, the teacher of our current world system, okay, our present earth world system, Gautama Buddha, he taught us how he, from a human being, okay, leading a life of greatness, becoming a prince, born as a prince in a kingdom where he could just inherit, and there were two choices. Either he becomes a ruler of the world, where he will conquer every single country in this world and united all the entire world under one government. Okay, he rules the world, or he become a Buddha. Right? There were a few teachers, right? The advisors of the metaphysics. Most of them had said that he has these two routes, but there was this one single wise, the wisest among all the few metaphysics gurus that were there during his birth. He said there's only one. This prince will become the Buddha. There's only one, not two. He won't pick the second one. Okay, there's only one. Okay, if he can become a prince, if a prince can give up all the riches in this world, if he can give up every single thing that he had, and he become enlightened, he becomes something greater than just our physical world itself. Okay, it's an entire world system, it's the entire thing itself, not just our galaxy, it's the entire world system. So if he as a prince can give up everything, and he is not afraid of giving up. Okay, a lot of people, now we look at our society today, a lot of people, they are afraid of giving up their social status, they are afraid of losing their wealth, they are afraid of, you know, like big businesses, they have a lot of shareholders, they have a huge market, they're talking about market share, they're talking about all kinds of things that are financial, that are physical, that are material, but they are afraid to let go of all these things. So to reach all these riches, to gain all these material things, they sacrifice their health. They may also, some of them sacrifice their integrity, they sacrifice their conscience, you know. um Integrity is something that money cannot buy, and integrity is something that money should not be able to buy. But because of the importance, the perceived weight of financial wealth, the money, some people do have a price for the integrity, unfortunately, right? So because of all these things, the Buddha had come to us, and he had demonstrated how he, from a prince, can let go of everything. Once he let go of everything, he doesn't starve to death, right? He isn't lack of clothes. He isn't lack of anything, right? It just shows that all these things have been predetermined in his life, that he will have them regardless of whatever profession that he is in. He can be a prince, right? But even if he is a prince, he will also just take maybe like 3 meals a day. Add on the snacks and the supper. Okay, 6 meals a day. But the stomach capacity is only that much, right? He will still lead a life, but after he has given up everything, he's still able to fill his stomach. He didn't starve to death, right? And while he, maybe as a prince, he wear all these luxury, maybe what we call as branded clothes today. But still, he has only one physical body. How many clothes can you fit within one physical body per day, right? So he has food, he has clothes, and what is his shelter? Right? Despite him leaving the palace, there are people who offer him shelter. Okay, in the past, those rich people, they may have things like the spring house, or the winter room, or the winter house, or the summer palace, and things like this. They offer him this kind of places of residence, but instead he doesn't stay in any particular spot because he is wandering around. The moment you don't own a house, you don't own a kingdom, you don't own this palace, you are not restricted, right? So what he did was, he goes around. The entire world is his home, right? He, if there is no shelter, like a brick house or a brick building above his head for shelter, he seeks shelter under a tree. Huge trees with good canopies. It's not like the trees that we have now, because the trees that we have now, they are scarce, they are selected, and they are planted right? Intentionally planted for aesthetic reasons, or planted for the shades and things like this. But if you were to look at how life was in the past without all these highways, without the clearing of the jungles and everything, the canopy from the trees can actually shade people, shade all the rainwater and the sun and the moon and everything from reaching the ground. Okay, it was that lush, it was that kind of beauty of nature that we don't see often anymore in this modern world. Okay, so as a Buddha, he showed us, right, from a prince to somebody who is wandering, who does not need much. Okay, fill his stomach, wear his clothes, that's it, right? And he goes around teaching this because it lets us know you can live freely, you can still stay alive, and you can really lead a still very good life without all the luxuries. Okay, without binding yourself. You know, all these bank loans that we have now are like um, prison, right? It's really like a prison. Every single month you toil, you work your jobs. I almost spew some expletives as I say this. Okay, you work very hard, you have a lot of bank loans, you need to think about your retirement. Just think about, right? I have to think about retirement. So when you have to think about all these things, right, you need to have a bank, and then you think of what investments you need to make. You know, you start reading like some really big names in investment world. You take their formulas, you think about their formulas, you go through their formulas, and then start to find your own investments and things like this. And some people want to go for it really fast and get burned in the share market or in the crypto market, right? And then you get into anguish because, oh my, I lost all my money in this cryptocurrency trading, you know, because trading are, I would say, it's a gamble, right? Unless you are one of those really big players with huge amount of money by the millions, by the billions, okay? Those that can significantly move the market the moment they cash out or they buy in, right? You are only gambling unless you are one of those big guys. The big guys, how they do it is that buy they buy this particular thing, they let people know that they buy, and hence it speculates. The moment it speculates, the value of this thing goes up in tandem with the reputation of the person who is actually letting others know that he bought it. Okay, so it goes up until it really reaches a particular percentage, maybe like even 500% of its original price, and then suddenly he made it really loud to the entire world to tell them that, oh, I have bought this thing. This guy had bought this particular share or had bought this particular crypto, and the believers, those people who have been following or observing him, it's like, oh, if he can buy it, I will buy it too, because all the prices are going to boom. Yes, the prices are going to boom to a certain degree, and then suddenly this guy will say, I'm getting bored with this. I have got enough money from it. From 500 it has become 1,000 times of its original value, right? And must sell it, release it into the market. I cash it out. Okay, so in such a big movement, the price crashes, and you, as the smaller investor, you gambled your money into trying to predict the market, and predictions don't work, right? Predictions are always not going to work the way that you expect it to be. Okay, how predictions like those pieces written by those investor guys, right? The famous ones, how they make such predictions. They have all these bosses at the back, those bosses that intends to influence how the market moves. Those bosses that will be the ones making the significant movements in a particular share or in a particular crypto, right? Those that want you to buy to push the price up, and once they reach their target, they sell it off, disregarding you as the smaller investor, right? So that is about what humans are doing with the finances. Okay, what is it that as a okay back to our storyline. Okay, what we're coming to in this. So the Buddha let us know. He discarded all these things. Okay, he just see through all this. It's a gamble. Like finance is like, okay, you work hard for it, right? You work hard to earn that kind of money so that you can buy the things that you need to sustain a life. Okay, and then for those who are wise enough, the extra that they have, they will invest it. And the investment is not the financial investment we're talking about today. Okay, we're talking about investing it back to society, investing it into charity, into helping people who are less fortunate compared to us. Okay, each of us today, you right now in front of your mobile, or if you've connected your TV to it, your smart TV to it, you can afford all these things, right? You can afford your broadband, you can afford your mobile phone, you can afford your smart TV. It means that you are fortunate. There are a lot of people who are less fortunate. Those people who may have been born without their parents by their side, okay? Or those who have been born but their parents abandoned them by the roadside, by the garbage bin, okay? And then they were picked up by people and sent to homes. Or maybe those who had led such a miserable life, right? They, no matter how hard they try, they couldn't get shelter, they couldn't get food, right? Their bills are not paid, their children's education, and they cannot pay for their school fees, their tuition fees, right? So if you understand karma, if you know how things work in this entire universe, the ecosystem itself, your extra, you will use it to help the less fortunate. Anywhere, anytime at all, you don't think of yourself as the only miserable ones. Our problems may seem amplified because we are inside it. But the moment you step out of yourself, you look at it objectively as a third party, you will realize that you are fortunate. At least you are able to see my video right now. You are fortunate because the sutra that I'm going to talk about is this infinite lifetime sutra. Not many people will come across it, and even if they come across it, they will shrug it off and think of it as just another fairy tale, a fiction. But if you are able to listen to my Dhamma talk, if you're going to be able to benefit from the Dhamma talk, if you are going to go through every single one of them and absorb what I say, because what I say was also what the gurus have said. Okay, I couldn't add on my own because they have already said what is required to be said. They have already stated what I state to you today. Long time ago, I claim no credit for this, right? I'm just sharing what they shared to me because it is my obligation. I am giving back to the society. I have the ability to own a smartphone that I'm filming this right now, right? And I have the ability to understand the sutra based on what they have taught me. And I hope that as I benefit from it, you will also benefit from it as I share it with you. Okay, so since the Buddha Gautama, he was able to live up to a ripe old age, okay, 80 years old, without becoming a prince, without resorting to, oh, I cannot live without all the luxuries and without the aircon, okay, or without anything, right? But food is still food. The food nourishes the body, and the body is just like a piece of cloth that we wear for our soul from the day that we are born, right? From the day that we are born, right up to the day when this clothes no longer functions for us. We discard it, and then we have a different piece of clothing for us. Okay, this is what the body is about. So you don't need to go and adorn it. You don't need to, like, you look at my face. If you look at my face from this camera now, right? But smartphones cameras have very good AI, so they filtered all the uneven color of my face. But if you were to look at me face to face, you will see I have aging marks, I have sunspots, right? I have a lot of imperfections. Okay, and so no matter what you do, when your body age, it's just like a piece of clothes, right? When the cloth is used and reused and washed many times and used, well utilized, the cloth will eventually one day be ragged. One day it will tear. One day the fibers will come off. One day you can no longer use it. Just like our body. Or rather, our body is just like the piece of cloth. What do you do with that piece of cloth? Do you still cling on to it? No, right? You discard the piece of cloth and then you buy a new one. Okay? So, same for our body. Do not take your body too seriously. Remember that. Okay? The more you try to nourish your body with all kinds of vitamins or nutrient dense food, the more damage you can do to your body. Okay, our body is an entire ecosystem by itself. If you lead a natural life, eat natural foods, just be, when you're hungry you eat until it's just enough. You need rehydration, drink water. Okay, you need anything, just, to replenish the body. That is the entire word itself. Replenish. You don't need all that wine, you don't need all the tonics, you don't need all that multivitamins, multi nutrients, or whatever chemical that you inject into your body. Like today you're afraid of the wrinkles, so people start injecting Botox, they go for facelifts, they go for all kinds of things, but it will never stop your aging. Okay, plastic surgery may seem like, it is there, but it still doesn't stop you from aging. It also does not stop you from death. Okay, so this is, um, the entire introduction just now was just to let us see a glimpse of what Gautama Buddha tried to show us during his 80 years of tenure on this, earth, right? So during his tenure, he showed us that he can discard all luxuries and all riches, everything material, and just lead a very simple life. Your body only needs food. Your body only needs a piece of cloth to cover the body. Okay, it does not matter what food, as long as it's edible, and then it does not matter what cloth, because you look hip. There's no fashion. It is a robe, a monk's robe, to cover the body from dust, to cover it from protection against the weather, right? But look at us today. We are so, um adding on to the, um if I say politely, I will say sophistication. If I say not quite politely but more factually, I will say that it is a confusion. mm. Confused about what? Confused about, um what life really is. Okay, we are, like, when I need to go to social functions, forced to attend any kind of, um gatherings that are consist of rich people. Okay, so society mandates that you have to wear certain clothes, your bags have to be of a certain kind of brand and things like this. So in some ways I had to comply to this, not because I want to, but because society has shaped our minds as this, right? So if you look at me right now, I'm with a this t-shirt was a VAR t-shirt that I have bought like since I was 20, in my early 20s, and I'm 48 and I'm still wearing it, right? So I naturally, okay, my normal life, you don't see me going for a lot of those luxurious stuff, okay, unless when you're talking about things about quality. Of course I won't be splurging on buying some really cheap stuff that can last for only like a few days, okay. You don't see me doing that either. It'll still have to be about a certain quality, but it does not necessarily need to be a luxury branded even, okay. If a t-shirt can be worn, it can be worn. If a t-shirt uh will only last you for like a few days because it's the fashion, or if you have to intentionally buy a certain piece of clothes just for a certain piece of event, right, then it is in actual fact, factually it is a waste, right, waste of materials. And usually these things can be overpriced because of the hype there is, because of the brand there is, because of the the created demand that did not exist before the product existed, right? So there was this play about how to gain more money. Okay, that's all there is to it. But actually, you don't really even need that much money. Why do you need to have a few $1 billion? Why do you need to have a few $100 billion if you are not helping humanity in the right way? Am I right? Okay, if you are able to have like $1 million, and okay, fair enough, if let's say you have 1 million and you anticipate yourself living to 80 years old, so you need to find ways to increase the value by putting it into fixed deposit or something like this that will give you a good return for it. Okay, by all means, that is fair. Okay, because you anticipate that you will need to live that long to use that much money, because even if you minimize your lifestyle, you probably need to pay for the electricity, pay for your food. Okay, think about the inflation rates and things like this. Okay, that one is fair. But if you exceed, it is actually a sign for you to return to the society. You may not need to return everything. If let's say you still think that, oh, I want to leave some for the children, you can still do that, but you don't need to hog everything there is, right? So give back to the society. Well, I'm not going to start ranting about or judging about how millionaires and billionaires spend the money, um, but it's just to share the point with you, right? With you who's in front of the of the screen right now, who's listening to this. You and I will say that society has labeled us as the middle class people. Okay, people who are not short of anything, but not wanting anything. Okay, not in desperate state of want for anything, right? We live simple, right? In fact, I was also exploring on a lot of very very simple recipes. My diet has changed into very simple foods, and even the quantity is lesser. Okay, I'll share those in other kinds of talks when the time is right. Okay, when the topic is right. Okay, we're back to this topic. So this is how the Buddha showed us about life, because this is what it is. Okay, life is just like that. It's just one fragment of our entire journey of eternity. Okay, something which we call the soul, something which we carry on this physical body even after the physical body is discarded. Okay, the soul continues. This thing that we call soul continues. So the Buddha, even before he became Gautama Buddha, during our life cycle, okay, during our current world system, he was already a Buddha. If you read the Sutra very carefully, it's just that he was residing in one of the heavenly worlds, and he wasn't just sitting there and lazing around, enjoying life. No, he doesn't do that. Wherever he goes, he was actually already preaching Buddhism. Okay, he was preaching the teachings. He was sharing with others on ways of how to become a Buddha. It's just that he wasn't in this world. He wasn't on our earth. He was in other lands, lands where there are beings who are ready, whose karma is ripe to receive the teachings. Okay, so that's how it is. If, let's say, for those who have understood and know that reincarnation is there, okay, so this makes sense. This makes a lot of sense. And for those who have not yet accept that there is reincarnation, it may be a little bit different. Okay, it may be a bit difficult. But if you are a believer of any religion, okay, may it be Christianity, may it be uh, Muslim, Judaism, Hinduism, Taoism, whatever. When you read about heaven and when you read about hell in your religious texts, the moment you end your life, the moment this life expires, this physical body could no longer hold its existence in this life, you present yourself in either heaven or hell. That already is a reincarnation. Okay, reincarnation doesn't mean that you have to be reborn as a human or an animal or an insect or anything with a physical body to be called a reincarnation. The moment you leave your soul, leave this body, and go into a different existence, that already is a reincarnation. So in your text, okay, if you're not a Buddhist, in your context, you may be reborn as a heavenly being if you go to heaven, or you are reborn in hell as a sufferer, to get punished in hell, right? So that is reincarnation. It is not like if death is so easy, the moment you die, there is nothing else, then it would be pretty easy. It would be very much, in fact, if that is all there is, each of us should be the same. Each of us should be just like robots, equally made and equally predictable life, leading equally lifespan, all the same, education, all the same, the amount of knowledge that we have, the skill that we have, it should all be the same. Because after the robot dies, okay, the battery dies, that's it. Okay, there is no more life after that. Okay, but of course you know that is not possible. Even if robots are no longer functioning, you can still, now we know, you can still take the metal parts and recycle. Okay, so the moment of the recycling itself is also a reincarnation. Okay, if you can understand this concept, so you know that reincarnation is there. Okay, whether you call it reincarnation or not, the moment your body expires and you go to a different existence, then that is already reincarnation. Okay, so what is Buddha? Buddha, in India they call it Bodhaya. Okay, so when it's translated into Chinese, is the enlightened. Okay, meaning that someone who fully understands himself, his surroundings, and life, this person is called the Buddha. Okay, in this sutra, in the mention with this sutra, particularly, it is referring to our Lord Gautama Buddha because he was the one who came to share this knowledge with us. And these sutras, okay, the books are spoken to us like a third party, okay, a narrative, somebody telling us a story because after the Buddha, his physical body expired, something which we call the parinibbana, that means he does not come back to this existence itself. In Theravada Buddhism, it is the end, right? But in Mahayana Buddhism, we know that it is not that end game. Okay, it was just that this this physical appearance expired. This physical matter expired. Okay, but Gautama Buddha, our Lord Sakyamuni Buddha, he had then transcended to another system. Okay, another part of the entire world system, and he is at this moment of us having this sharing session right now. He is teaching Buddhism the way of achieving the level of Buddhahood to other beings. Okay, it can be in the heavenly realm, it can be in any other realms, okay, or in any other world systems. Okay, because you have to get this. Okay, every Buddha creates his own world system. Okay, and the world ours is the Sakyamuni Buddha world. Okay, there is also the Kashyapa Buddha world. There is also the uh, uh, Vairocana Buddha world. There is also the Amitabha Buddha world. Okay, the one that we're talking about, Amitabha Buddha world in this Infinite Lifetime Sutra. It is about Amitabha Buddha world. Okay, so there is there are other beings who can benefit from his teachings, even right now, as we're talking, as you're listening to me, as I'm sharing this with you. Okay, he is there teaching them. Okay, and the way the Buddha teaches may not always be verbal. It can be through actions, as you will later learn from in the when I share the content of the sutra itself. So this is spoken as a storytelling, a narration. Okay, because after he had experienced his parinibbana, he his cousin Ananda, the youngest cousin that he had, who had been following him for a long, long time as his assistant, as a monk, he had superpower memory that he can remember everything that the Buddha said, word for word. Okay, and there's also the congregation of the Sangha, the monks who had benefited from the Buddha's teachings personally, and they had become arhants. Okay, in Theravada Buddhism, okay, the smaller wheel, we call it smaller wheel. Theravada Buddhism, you can have 4 stages of sainthood. Okay, Sotapanna, Sakadagami, Anagami, and Arhat. So for Arhat, they no longer need to come back to this existence, right? When you're Sotapanna, you still have 7 existence. You still go through 7 lifetimes to learn how things work. Okay, but at your 7th, you definitely become a Buddha. If you're a Sakadagami, the 2nd stage of sainthood, you will still need to have 3 lifetimes. Okay, if you're an Anagami, after your lifespan here expires, you go to a special place. Okay, all Anagamis will go to this special place where there is no distraction. You will just be practicing until you reach the 4th stage of sainthood. Okay, but when you're in arhat, that means you have gained that kind of enlightenment, and some may have developed supernatural powers. I would say the um those can conjure some kind of supernatural things. Okay, like for example, you can just teleport, or you can read other people's mind, or you can see things that other people cannot see. That one is actually relatively easy. um, there are many different kinds of supernatural powers. Okay, even if you don't reach the sainthood, some people may experience this kind of supernatural powers, and that's why it is very important for us to realize that some people, okay, in their display of supernatural powers, it is crucial to remember the Buddha discouraged anybody to expound the teachings of the Buddha. Okay, he does not allow any of his disciples to teach Buddhism by using supernatural powers. Okay, we are not allowed to display any kind of magic, okay, any kind of special stuff, okay, to do any feats to get people into Buddhism. We're not allowed to do that. Okay, supernatural feats are only performed in certain circumstances when it is absolutely necessary, and when we know that there are people who are truly going to benefit. The benefit is not to become a fanatic of Buddhism. It's not about, believing and, getting monetary gains. No. The benefit will have to be about this person being able, with the karmic conditions right, his minds his mindset is right, his karma is right, everything is aligned, that he will benefit and achieve sainthood through the witness of such supernatural feats. Okay, or maybe like the time of the Buddha himself, he may just appear. Okay, he may be at this spot, and when he sees with his all-seeing eye that, oh, somebody over there, far far, a few 100 kilometers away, there was this person whose everything, the time is right, this mindset is right, and everything. So the Buddha may just teleport, appear before him. Okay, he can split to go there without transportation, without taking airplanes. There are no airplanes back then. So he can perform this supernatural feat and appear before this person whose time is ripe. Teach him the teachings, teach him until he can attain sainthood. Okay, so that is the only times when um, such supernatural feats are being performed. Okay, those are the times. And if Buddha Gautama can see that, oh, people are going to benefit on certain things, so he will conjure such supernatural feats. He'll perform this magic for people to witness when it's time. Okay, but in our modern times, you have to be wary. You have to be very careful about people performing such feats, because even if you are not able to gain sainthood, you can still have this kind of supernatural powers. In fact, if you were to be doing meditation, okay, really intense meditation, and you have that kind of focus, strong focus, you may actually have some kind of a third eye to see beings that are not seen by the naked eyes. Okay, these are some of the things, but it's not yet the all-seeing eye. Okay, the all-seeing eye of the Buddha is able to see the past, the present, and the future. Okay, so it is different. You're able to see things from a different dimension. That is something, but the all-seeing eye, the one that has the supernatural feat, is something else. Okay, so back to this one. So the Arhants, there's this whole congregation of Arhants, 500 of them, together with Venerable Ananda, who was the youngest cousin of our Lord Gautama Buddha. He followed him everywhere, tending to the Buddha's needs, and then he had the privilege, because he made it a rule to Gautama Buddha last time. He said that I can follow you, but I want to have a condition. I want to be able to listen to every single one of your Dharma talks. And if I don't get to listen to it because of some other duties that I have, when you come back, you have to tell it to me exactly the way you have told them. Okay? He made that. And the Buddha promised him. The Buddha said, okay, let's get it done. Okay? So when the Gautama Buddha body expired, so he left Parinibbana. So Ananda and the congregation of the 500 arahants, they sat together. Okay, they compiled all the teachings that the Buddha has done throughout his lifetime. So Ananda told, okay, Ananda shared it. They wrote it down, and the special thing about this is that if anyone from the 500 congregation of Arahants said that, Ananda, that was not how I remember it as it is. One single objection from any one of them, that piece that have been shared by Ananda will be scrapped. Okay? It takes only one to raise an objection, and that piece will be scrapped. Right? But Ananda had excellent memories. That is his natural ability. Okay, he was born with it due to his past karma. Okay, so he shared. The congregation of the Arhants verified when they have seen that everything is as true as how they remembered it, as they have seen it and witnessed it. They said, okay, this piece will pass. Okay, this piece can be shared to benefit other people. That's how we have all these sutras. Okay, it is not like, oh, the Buddha spent his time writing a book and then publishing it. No, it's not like that. There was not a single piece of book that was ever published under his name during his time. Right, it was after he had gone that Ananda shared this and verified by the 500 arahants who have achieved. Okay, they are beyond death. Okay, so when they shared this thing, okay, so we are very fortunate because we no longer have the presence of the physical Buddha in front of us. So before Buddha Gautama left, he said very clearly, they asked him the question, what happens after you have left us? We don't have a Buddha to lead us anymore. He said, use the sutras. Okay, go back to, he didn't exactly say use the sutras because the sutras were not read yet, were not written yet, but he said refer back to my teachings. If it contradicts with my teaching, then don't listen to it. If it follows my teaching, then it is true. All right, so which is why today we always fall back to the teachings, we always fall back to the sutras. And this is exactly what I'm going to share with you in my talks. Okay, so it's already 53 minutes plus. Okay, so this is just part of the introduction. Today's introduction, we're only touching background of how about the objective of Buddha coming down to us this way. Okay, so in our next video, I'm going to go some more in depth because it is to dedicate into this sutra itself. So in the next talk, we're going to go some more, okay, into the titles. We're still at the title after this episodes, and we're still at the title. The next episode will still be about title. Okay, 佛说大乘无量寿庄严清净平等觉净. Okay, the Buddha says the Mahayana infinite lifespan, splendid, peaceful, equal enlightenment sutra. Alright, so I hope that this introduction will bring you to continue watching the next episode next week. Thank you very much. Meanwhile, please be good.